Oh, good evening and welcome, all my viewers. Welcome to the left side of the speaker. Still gotta get that figured out. Hopefully now, maybe with some new outlets of support, we may in fact find the solution to whatever is causing my vocal audio here. The microphone, it's only coming out of the left side of your headphones if you're listening on headphones, and if you're not, I hope it's not as hard. I hope it's not as easy to tell. But it is what it is for the moment. Man, that change is a lot. It's so nice. That's why it's kind of hard to remember. Hey, hey, hey. Something like that. Cat Stevens would be disappointed, I think, but it's hard to disappoint the faces of anyone on a day like this, because on today of all days, seems like there's quite a bit to talk about, and there's finally things to talk about that maybe aren't as devastatingly heavy as what's going on in Ukraine. But however, they are still devastatingly dramatic and can say quite a lot. And I could just flat out say what I'm talking about, but I don't think I even have to really, because everyone's just talking about the same thing, aren't we? All right, let's see, how are we doing? Anybody? Oh my God, I actually have the chats on the Twitch from the last stream. Oh my God, I got 10 followers now. Let's go. Look at that. We're climbing. The ball, it's a rolling. It is indeed. So, I actually have some notes for today. Today is a Monday. I didn't get to do the stream last Friday I had things to prepare for on that day and the coming day that were very just. It needed my full attention, and that's the thing. That's why we have two streams a week, because if you miss one, there's a chance to we still have the consistency of like at least one stream a week, if not most of the time trying to have two. I need to take this Twitch thing off because I can't see myself just reacting with the same motion a second afterwards. It's a bit jarring after a while. And I really hope some of you guys can tell me what you think about, all this drama. Because I'd like to bounce off some people today, if we could, and, actually engage a little more. But we always got to work with what we got, don't we? That's what we always end up doing anyway. Regardless of what we want to have, we have what we have, and we work with what we have. And I got you, babe. I got you. See, can I work that one out? How does it start? See, I just know the bit from Groundhog Day. I don't know the song that well. What is it? Oh, is it in D as well? Same key? How much I forget? I don't know the words he's saying. It's been so long. I'm not doing a good service to that song, so I probably should let it be till I work it out. I did a little disrespect to Moonshadow there, which I'm a little more biased to. See how we do. Bop. 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 Oh man. So, on this fine Monday evening, what's on most people's minds is, of course, that a big old violent outburst yesterday by our beloved Fresh Prince. He's now the Fresh Prince of Punching. Thank you. See, I actually haven't pulled that out in like many streams because I haven't made. I have, but I've. That joke was so bad, it really had to pull it out. When a joke is that horrible, that's when you must laugh the most, because. Oh God, let me stop talking about nothing for a second. Let me talk about what also is nothing, but is the nothing that's on most people's minds. Man, so a lot of people, were confused. I was pretty confused. Still am, like most people, as of to, no one can know all the reasons, but one can just see the emotion, And after I did some digging, because we have to get into these personal people's lives. So I feel like the whole drama that happened a while ago, with him and Jada Pinkett Smith, I wasn't actually fully aware of it when it happened. It was during COVID, and I vaguely I remember people talking about it, but I just wasn't interested. I'm never really that interested in like this celebrity drama stuff, even when it turns into a meme, which makes it the best. Like the interview with Ben Affleck and The Sound of Silence, like that is just pure art from reality right there. And now there's a lot of arts coming from this new dose of life. And it's pretty crazy. And then looking back at the one from 2020, the interview, the red, whatever it was, excuse me, whatever type of interview it was, where she in front of him on live kind of revealed some massive things, and not only was revealing it, but was revealing it in a way of like total lack of responsibility and accountability. We can't know all of. It's not our life. We get to see this little dose of real human beings' lives that are, so full of and concocted, with just crazy emotions and crazy things. Imagine, it's the thing. All these people in these podiums, these platforms that they have, where they have to, like people have such a pressure on everyone that you must, use your platform for good, because you are like one of the privileged peoples of our society, and it's true. That being said, all these people, in this actor world and world of platforms and such, they are still all real people, This is what this is a reminder of. And not just that, but I mean, the fact of just how, it's just unfortunate. It's such a bad example to set. It's really, I don't feel, you know, I feel really bad for Chris Rock. But I don't feel, good about any of it. I don't think anyone, the only good that comes from it is in the humor, the lovely, humor of our generation. That is 100% our strongest attribute, in my opinion. And that isn't a joke, actually. I mean, everything that anyone could say about, the younger generations, the one thing you can't say about them is that they don't have a... Thank you for the love of the title there. I knew you'd like that. I almost did that just for you, actually, really. I was like, I knew you'd appreciate it. I thought it was a good title. I thought it was apt. But yeah, it doesn't... I always lose my train of thought, but it always comes back. Like a boomerang. The shittiest boomerang you could ever construct. It sets such a bad example. And so I don't feel, I don't think, yeah, the humor, that's the thing, our generation, there we go. Whenever I have to go back, I always like step back a couple steps before I just was, and you have to like work itself forward. But that's the thing, our generation, you can't say that they don't have a sense of humor. And in fact, we have, I don't think it's a competition. People, all the memers out there, man, all those people doing this crazy, there's so much work put into the jokes of today like this. It is such a true, like, showcase of comedy as an art form, because it is construction after the fact of all these things that in some cases are like real life moments like this, and it turns into a cultural thing. It's this crazy mishmash of reality and creation, and what the hell is even so many people, I think, have just turned to having, we've naturally gained such a giant wacky open sense of humor, because I think that's what happens when most people's life feels like a joke. I mean, reality is this. Like, that thing that happened just yesterday is like just what goes on now. There's no that's the thing. It is just one person, getting upset about a joke about their wife, and all this pent up emotion. I mean, you're literally, this thing in his acceptance speech. I can't believe it. I can't believe that what happened yesterday happened. I literally don't even. I kind of still refuse to believe just like the existence of it, because it's just too crazy to see. Like the fact that Will Smith won the Oscar as well. He won it and got to give an acceptance speech and like literally almost have a like, oh, please don't cancel me moment. Like, he literally got to when does that ever happen? Someone do something so crazy, like, imagine this. Oh god, no, I can't make that comparison because then it'll seem worse. But I was gonna bring up like okay, fuck it. Let's make the most extreme example. It's like if the guy who played Kramer, right? What's that dude's name? Michael Richards. It's like if after his giant, colossal, um, horrible moment happened, whenever that happened. It's like if that happened, and then later in the audience they're like, all right, and we're giving our award tonight for best comedy performance of the night goes to Michael Richards. And they has to come back on. Like, imagine if, like, that happened. That's how this feels to me. Like, and that's the thing. He literally, in the acceptance speech, Will Smith is, it's like, I mean, it's real. That's the thing. It's not, this is like just real life how he's reacting in this moment. Will Smith, the person we know, is like such a talented actor. Well, maybe some, acting comes from real life. You have to draw from real life. And, so we get so, it's such a kick for us when we get to see actors actually have a real dramatic moment. Like, that's why, so many people fixated on, like, the Ben Affleck thing, seeing him in that interview where you can tell he's just like he actually is like probably thinking about his like career choices or something. And regardless of if he was or isn't, guess what? We can't know what's inside of the head of him or Will Smith or Jada or Chris Rock. We can't. It's this show for us. It's crazy that we've treated all this stuff in celebrity culture like a reality show for so long. And it's like, I guess this is what happens when it catches up to you, The people are going to act like they're in a reality show. And then, like, that's the thing. Like, his acceptance speech, he's talking about, like, I think the first thing he said was that, because he's playing, the movie he played was the father of Venus and Serena Williams, And he says, I don't know the name of the character he says, but he says his character's name is like, he was a protector of his family. And so suddenly it's like this, and you can tell, has a lot of regret in his, what he's doing, and he's trying to like not make it about this thing. But how can you not when that's what he had just done? And I mean, he really did play this role. He played it so well that he won an Oscar for it. Got so emotional in this role as a father raising two kids. Will Smith also has his own two kids and has his own wife and has his own, they all have their own just drama of a life. Like I can't believe. See, now I watch it, I'm just like, oh my God, I feel bad for everyone. I feel bad for Will Smith. I feel bad for Chris Rock. I'd say that I don't feel that bad for Jada Pinkett Smith, but then if I say that, Will Smith might come and punch the shit out of me. So I mean, I do, I guess, of course, I have some sympathy for Jada as a human being, but like, come on, bro. That's the thing is like, my theory that again isn't true, but it's just a fucking, like, I'm just a dude watching it, but I think, why did Will Smith, why was he saying like, get your name out of get my wife's name out of your fucking mouth? Like, that's so crazy. That is just an unbelievable thing to see with your eyes. And, Chris Rock literally was just making a joke about a movie, G.I. Jane. And like, I get it. I get why I can get always like why, people can be offended, but you can't assault somebody, right? But like, that's the thing. Like, Chris Rock stepped on something he didn't even know how, like, crazy. He couldn't have had any idea what that joke would somehow step on. He's wrestling with everybody. He just made a joke about Javier Bardem and his wife earlier. Like, he's poking fun at everybody. I saw somebody say something where they're like, if he made a joke about, if he made fun of Will Smith, like, Jada would have been laughing, right? I can understand someone seeing that. But, he had just a little joke with Jada, and then you could see his thing. Will was there actually. He's like, aha! Like he couldn't even tell for a second that Will was like that upset, but it was Jada's whose face was like, she's like she got offended, and so honestly, what I feel is like more Will Smith's like, aha! But he suddenly, the thing that he's mad about isn't the fact that like the joke didn't offend Will Smith. I don't know. But my little guess is that he's just like, you motherfucker. I'm going to have to deal with this. That this is my problem now that you've given me because she's mad. And so, I mean, literally think about it, like, get your wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Like, literally, like, you can attach whatever many reasons you want to that. But, like, if Chris Rock kept his wife's name out of his mouth, even as something as simple as a joke like that she could get offended at, like, then he wouldn't, it's like, literally just like, you like it, there's like a neutral like I Oh man, that's the thing. He just let it out, and it really had nothing to do with Chris, in my opinion. I don't think maybe there's more. Maybe there is like more beef between him and Chris specifically that I have no idea about. And guess what? We shouldn't really even try to speculate. And me doing this isn't so fruitful. It's the moment we're in. Might as well talk about it. And I had actually. It's crazy how this can relate to some other stuff going on. Like. Oh, there's something that happened on Wednesday last week, less than a week ago, and it happened here in my home district, District 27. I saw some news. It wasn't. I have like a local news thing, but it wasn't even on that. It was on like Apple front page news. It was on Wednesday or Thursday. And one of the top news stories of the day for the whole world of Apple, unless they were just, giving it to me because it's listening to me or whatever. So it's a chance. But this is on like the main page. Like, it's not just for me or anyone specific to look at. And it says Michigan school board director allegedly punches and slams head of committee member. It said Michigan, and I was like, oh man. So I was like, let me see this. Where in Michigan is this? And guess what? Flint, Michigan. We're at it again in the news for more political craziness and unbelievableness. So, yeah, the story is that last Wednesday, at some, like, regular-ass, boring, school board meeting, like, mundane thing, the word of all the board members that attended, like, apparently it is unanimous that whatever one's account of the situation happened, that this dude, the director, or I think it's a dude, maybe it's a woman, I actually don't know the gender identification of any of these individuals. I just know their, placements. And the director, the Flint Community Schools director, man, of the board, chairman of the board, he apparently unprovoked. It was unprovoked, allegedly. It says every single person there just walked up during the meeting, walked up to one of the people sitting down, and just started punching their head and slamming it as they tried to get up, apparently. Like, the leader of an elected group of people for the schools in Flint. Like, adults are supposed to be in the room. The school board director apparently bludgeoned just another member unprovoked, and now they've kicked him off. He's not the director anymore. He's apparently currently the he's on the board still, but I don't know how long that might last. Maybe it already hasn't lasted. But it's just crazy. People are on edge right now. And it's not just in the lower rungs of whatever we would consider to be, people. That's the thing. We see these people with platforms as, like, separate from us. And at the same time, we have this strange relationship of, like, they feel like these people are our friends sometimes, even though you've never met them once in your life. It's a bizarre new thing we got going on with us. And another bizarre turn of events is this shit. Is just people who are respected and loved. That's it. Like, Will Smith is very fortunate that he is as loved as he is, But yes, such a horrible example to set, with all this, with what happened in January of last year, 2021, and everything else, there is tension in the air. People are upset, people are pent up, and regardless, that's the thing, this shit, like, it seemed personal. It seemed like Will Smith, that's the thing, he's not dealing with the same issues as, everybody else. Everybody's got their own issues going on. But this is on live television at the Oscars. And it just happens, like, oh, all right. And then Chris Rock, like a G, just kept going. Like, I can't, man, everybody hates Chris, right? Fucking, like, even Will Smith can't stand his ass. But poor Chris, man. That guy deserves an Oscar for that performance. Like that is nuts, man. Like you can tell, after he got watching it, it's so like how his lead at first is like he just smacks him, like afterward in the fall where he's like trying to he's like, oh, I was like, Will Smith just punched the shit out of me, and then Will Smith shouts back at him. Well, he shouts and like the recovery that Chris has to make. He makes it. He's just like, whoa. He's like, okay. And he carries on and he says, something like he makes it light. He makes him just getting punched like square in the jaw for the whole world to see. He just like was like, all right, gotta just keep this moving. And like you can see just like shit going through his head of like, it's like probably he's thinking about just all, like, wow, suddenly this moment isn't this moment anymore. Suddenly what he has to do is a direct contrast with reality. He's going to have to act like things are like, okay, but like, wow. Everybody in this room knows that was just like the absolute craziest thing you could ever see. Like you can see his fear. You can see his uncomfortableness. Who wouldn't be? And yet he kept his cool and even managed to keep a smile and laugh, because that is what, he's a comedian. He's been trained for that type of moment. Like the person needing to stand there had to be somebody, like him, because, as a comedian, you take so much. I bet you never expect your heckler to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, someone you probably have a lot of respect for, and they probably, they're actors. They probably know each other very well. I can't imagine what was going through his head right then. I can't. It's like, that's the thing. To me, I don't know. How I see fear personally nowadays. It's like, five fingers do. They speak wonders sometimes, especially to those faces, Oh. Man, I mean, that's the thing. Getting slapped, punched, by Will Smith in any degree, like, wow. It's kind of an honor, right? like, getting punched by anybody sucks. You don't want to get assaulted. But if I were to be assaulted, I would want it to be on live TV by Will Smith. That'd be the only way I'd ever want to be punched in the face. So, I don't know. You make fear and excitement to me are the same emotion. And it's all in the perspective. Everything is just perspective. One person's good is another person's evil. One person's evil is another person's entire devotion to an existence and what they see as, we are all just a bunch of different crazy walking belief systems. And part of mine that I formed is that I believe that fear and excitement are just one emotion. And it gets confusing sometimes. And you are really what ends up interpreting. Well, that's also true. Fear is many things. For Batman, it is very much a tool for for smashing the faces of low life thugs dressed in Halloween makeup, just like Will Smith. Just that's the thing. Batman, right? Batman has encapsulated fear into excitement. So now we're using Batman somehow as a metaphor, but it works because it's all about fear. But really, picture when you're excited about something, when you're not actually, it's something you want to do, but it's something you really want to do. It's like the most exciting thing, but you have a bit of, you have a bit of nervousness. You're a bit afraid because the things you really want in life, they always end up being the things that scare you the most. Isn't that funny? But it makes sense because Most of the time, what you want in life is something different, something exciting that is, or, exciting might not be always the right word, but something out of your comfort zone, something that is a challenge. And challenges are exciting, but they're also really terrifying. And so, like Chris Rock there, he had a giant challenge thrown in his face. Just, you have to now keep functioning as the host of the Oscars and not make it personal, not make it, anything as much as you can. You can't blame, I don't blame personally, you can't blame Chris Rock for making a dumb joke and then getting, it's like, like this is just such a horrible and amazing example of just people. These are just people, man. All of us. And the more we continue to let our pent up emotions and horrible frustrations, justified frustrations with our worlds, we are reaching breaking points of being able to keep it all in. And I can't speak for Will Smith. I can't speak for anyone individually. I can only speak to what I and everyone else keep seeing around the world. And whether that's a Capitol riot, provoked by, people look at the actions of people and say, man, that's very, one of the words that people use is ignorant. And ignorant is such a funny word. To say someone is ignorant, it implies, the word is like ignore, right? It implies you're like when you say, I'm going to ignore that, it's a conscious decision. And so we put so many people into this word of ignorant because it's like, they don't understand this, they don't understand that, they don't want to. But most of the time, it's not because they don't want to. And that's the thing. Most of the time, you are ignorant to something because you're ignorant to it. You don't know about it. You haven't understand it. And sometimes ignorance is bred of environment. It's bred of things outside of your choosing, And, it's like the thing. We're suddenly just looking at I bet you might be watching and going, what are you talking about? I got a lot of strings in my brain, but it's all relevant to the fact that, we all are just witnesses. We just keep on receiving this world, and all we have to do, all we are left to do is make the best of it and make, some kind of meaning. It's like, there's just a noticeable increase in people's stress, and people's anxiety, and people's depression, and people's ability to keep it all in, especially when most people at the bottom have a lot more stress to deal with than somebody you would think like Will Smith, right? But even Will fucking Smith is at a breaking point right now for himself. That's the thing. As much as I'm like, it's a terrible example, maybe it's an honest example. That's the thing. I don't know, January, I don't want to say I feel like it'll get, whatever, January 6th. That's the thing. I hate, it's like, we're making it into, January 6th. Do you guys remember the date of Pearl Harbor, right? Do you remember it? Maybe you do. I probably should, right? Because it's like, he's like, a day that will live on in infamy, And I know, but I have an idea of Pearl Harbor in my head, but the date isn't so important. But of the time, it is relevant. Something is always so much more grandiose in the moment. Like Pearl Harbor was a giant moment, but today we don't have the Pearl Harbor Day as remember Pearl Harbor Day. We all remember 9/11. It's like 9/11. That is such a huge thing for all of us. And maybe that one will stick, maybe it won't. But I wonder if in 100 years, if we're around 100 years, hopefully, maybe we can be, if there's a chance, if we do some things, But if that future exists, which it could, I wonder if it will be remembered as the Twin Tower attacks or the Pentagon attacks, or they just call it the September 11th attacks. That's the thing. That was such an all-encompassing. So much stuff happened on that day. Whereas Pearl Harbor was, for us, that's the thing, we call it Pearl Harbor. But actually, around the world on that day, there was a bunch of stuff happening. Like Japan attacked a bunch of different places at once around the world, and Pearl Harbor just happened to be one of them. I'm pretty sure this is true. Someone please fact check me if you know better, but I'm pretty sure this is true. I love you guys. Yeah, it's true. Will Smith was Deadshot one time, and he did have to fight Batman. He did have a scene with Ben Affleck. The two people that I already had mentioned for the celebrity thing. Oh, this is perfect. This is so good. What was I talking about? Yeah, you know. I needed some water real quick. Yeah, you know what? Okay, while I catch my train of thought, I'll play some. I've talked long enough, haven't I? Time for just a little play break and come back to the conversation. Wait, maybe I'm catching it. Maybe I'm catching the thought. Reel her in. Alrighty, hope y'all enjoyed That. Aha, yes. Thank you for reminding me. See, perfect. Delay of everything and come back, and the last message is what I was talking about. Yes, Japan attacks, in Pearl Harbor. There was multiple attacks on that day, but we think about it as Pearl Harbor. So I wonder if, maybe over time, all this stuff I was talking about, because January 6th, like right now we think of it, it's like everyone says, oh, on January 6th, January 6th, and I'm like, can't, like it's its own thing, You can't compare that to 9/11. You can't really compare that to Pearl Harbor. You can't compare that to Will Smith, punching Chris Rock in the face. None of them are the same, but they are all, examples of humanity at an extreme point. Whether it's the microcosm of one person, and they're like, ah, or it's the macrocosm of a bunch of people going, ah, ah, because fucking what do we do right now? Most people look at that and it's like ignorance and stupidity and blah. And you know what? Maybe so. You know what else is a factor you don't want to look at? Massive poverty. Most of the people are really poor. And when you're really poor, it also happens to stand that you might be not as much really educated, might not have many degrees. You know why? Because maybe our degree system banks on you having money and not on whether or not you're actually willing to work hard to learn something. Because all the people there believed hardcore in this, from this conservative. We have a crisis right now of all the branches of conservatism, because so much is changing, massively, culturally, and there is a bunch of people who have held on to different ways of thinking in life, and so much of that is that you can't ignore. You can't be ignorant to this. The thing, there is ignorance in the treatment of these things. Like, you can't ignore the second truth, the third truth, the fourth. There's so many truthful things about every fucking thing that ever happens. There's never one direct. People always just want to choose the ones that help sell their argument. And maybe this one is helping to sell my argument, right? You just can't look past that. But you can't look past the fact that these people, like to have a conservative, look. Part of that, in essence, is like a trust that you was once had in the ways of things, and all these people have had their trust broken by their own party, by every party, so like it's not shocking to me anymore like why people would and may still go for a guy like Trump, because what other options are there? The people that for a fact over the last 20 years have screwed you and have done nothing to help you. So yeah, doing a negative thing after a negative thing is done to you, right? It's not the right thing to do. Nothing about the events of January 6th are condonable. But doesn't mean you can't understand it if you try, actually, for a second, because it's not that crazy if you look around. Just like it's a thing, this Will Smith thing, I almost don't want to believe it's real, because to me it's like, why does this not feel that crazy anymore? That's the real crazy thing, is that we just live in a constant state of anxiety right now as a people. No generation, no populace of human beings have ever had so much stuff given to them. We've never had so many things, so much stuff, so much good, so many things to make our lives the most advanced, better apparently it can be, right? And yet, there has never been a population of human beings more unhappy. And that's just the truth. It's a truth. It's one of the many you can find in this godforsaken beauty of a cartoon show that we participate in every single day. Let's see. Let me check. Oh, what? Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Oh, hello. Yes. Yes. Okay, never mind. That notification isn't what I thought it was. Alright. Well, we got some time here. Let's see. Let me check my notes real quick. Just to see if there's something I'd like to add. Oh, okay. You know what? Okay. Actually, I have two more notes on here. Two more things I could go into. Probably only have time for like one more. Um, Neither of them, all the things I kind of hope for like natural transitions into things. Um, this one is, I'd more, okay. All right. We're going to do something fun. So, okay, this one will be relevant. And then the other note I can bring up next time or something. Uh, so another thing happened like in the last week that I watched, and we're gonna we're gonna do some fun here. On the last stream I had, I showed a clip on my phone of Kamala saying something. Which, by the way, I had this thought earlier today when I was looking at some of the stuff with the Smiths. You know, Jada Pinkett Smith and her attitude, like they should, if there ever was the age, probably timing won't work out for all of us to see something like this. But Jada Pinkett Smith, she would do the thing. This is gonna come off like an insult, but it's not, because it just speaks to Jada Pinkett Smith is an actress, and she's also she's talented. She was pretty good in Matrix 4. Radical opinion, radical. Matrix 4 is actually really good, and watching all the sequels up to it, and knowing that there's like another sequel coming, it makes it a little better to kind of just take in all of it. Like, obviously, nothing's as good as the original, but honestly, for all the negative stuff you guys heard about it, like, you should check out Matrix 4 if you like it. It's good. And Jada Pinkett Smith is good in it. She's good in it, actually, like really good. She has acting chops. I wouldn't say so much when she's playing Fish Mooney on Gotham. That is like such. I cannot stand the character at all. But she's a seasoned actress, and in the Matrix 4, she plays an updated version of her character from the sequels. In the last, she's a lot older, and like she really sells it. Like it was like man, all the performances in that movie were really good actually. But anyway, I think Jada Pinkett Smith I think she could do like a really good like Kamala Harris like impersonation. Like she would play a really good Kamala. And that's all I have to say about that. All right. Do we have time to look at the thing I want to look at? I want to kind of just react to like some other. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do it quick and not no. Oh, look at these decisions you're seeing go back and forth. Time. So little time. It has to do with Dave Rubin. If anyone is familiar with a man named Dave Rubin, he's a man. He's a dude. He's a bro. He's a fellow human being, Mr. Dave Rubin. A crazy clip of something happened last week that just was another thing that just blew my mind to see it. Like, I can't believe the conversations that we get to see in our lifetime right now exist. I cannot believe it. Truly. But so Dave Rubin is these days he's a conservative commentator, and briefly kind of give my like thoughts on him, I guess, because it's the thing. There's a lot of conservative commentators out there who like I know that they believe what they're saying, and it's like that's their perspective, and they're good at what they do. Dave Rubin is somebody who his political home has shifted. And in my opinion, that's because it's just clear that he is more of a grifter and just is kind of trying to have an audience and use X, Y, or Z to hone an audience and to, dunk on people and stuff. He's not really a serious, he doesn't treat any of these issues with any seriousness, actually. Anyway. A lot of people out there, you can tell, it's a grift. But that being said, even a grifter like Dave Rubin, is a person. And something happened this past week that, like, actually, it's like, it's challenging yourself. Like, man, having sympathy for Dave Rubin in a moment, it's like, it proves that you're human. It proves that you're, like, not totally lost yet. But he was on, so Dave Rubin is a gay man. He is a gay man on the conservative end of things. They exist. Um, for a lot of people, maybe it's like, what? How? But the world is full of diverse people and diverse thoughts on things, regardless of other diversities in oneself. You know, we are complicated creatures. And so, Dave Rubin is happens to be a gay dude, and his husband. They announced that they're having a kid, and it's the word. I have a word in my head, but I actually don't want to say it because I feel like it's the wrong word. I feel like I don't want to sound dumber, but it's the word for whenever, I don't think they're adopting. I think they're, getting someone, a lady, to help out, because that's the thing that people can choose to do with their lives and their freedom and their choices in this lovely land of ours. But, the conservative audience that Dave Rubin has built up now in the last few years since he jumped over to the conservative side, a lot of them are none too happy about it and are making, all the conservative arguments that you'd expect and make sense because it's like, they're like, it's not good for the kid. Like, some people are comparing it to like slavery, like to make a kid, not have a mother and a father. It's just wacky arguments and they don't make any sense. Well, they don't make any sense to most people, but to the conservative audience that Dave Rubin, had jumped into, it's not that surprising. But anyway, the whole reason I want to bring this up is because, like, that's the thing, all this drama, I'm never that really into the drama. But we get moments now that are real drama. They aren't from all this, oh my God, treating stuff like reality TV. We have now created a reality that is like reality TV, but it's reality. Like the Will Smith shit, that's just like real life right there. Somehow. And this other clip, it's just so bizarre to watch. It's such a crazy, just like conversation. And it's after Dave Rubin announced this about him and his husband raising children, there's a bunch of backlash and a bunch of conservative people. That's the thing. It's like if this was 10 years ago, probably would have been way worse, right? But like nowadays, there is times have shifted, and so now like Dave Rubin has his conservative friends, and a lot of his conservative friends like are backing him up, and there's this conversation. Some of them are probably, some of them are just being really ruthless, and makes you sad to see someone invest in other people, and it doesn't work out. It's not like a happy thing to see, and this is not a happy thing to see here. It's just mind blowing. It's Glenn Beck, I'm pretty sure. It's the guy who used to be on Fox News, but now he has that like Blaze TV. There's this. Glenn Beck had Dave Rubin come on his show to like address it and talk about it, and like Glenn Beck had a lot to say, like in support, the best support he could give, I suppose. And it's just so, like, it's hard to watch. I feel bad for Dave Rubin. I do in this situation, just as a human being. Policy-wise, I could not be any more far from him, But, let me see if I can pull this clip up. Might not have too much time here. But I've brought it up now. I've talked about it. Okay. Did I favorite it by chance? Probably not, but possibly. If I didn't favorite it, I might just have to save it for next stream. Well, can't find it right now, and there's 3 minutes left, so. But, me talking about that, it has to do still with the conversation of today, and it's fine, because it's bizarre. Like, go, if you want to look up Dave Rubin, Glenn Beck, and say whatever the words I said about, the topic of it if you want. But it's out there. I'll maybe show it next time. But there's just not enough time today. But it's, has to do with all this just crazy reality-breaking drama of our people with platforms, our platform people, are platform people that, they have a huge responsibility to uphold and yet continually show cracks. They fracture just like any person like you and me. No one's perfect. And at the same time, everyone should be held to the same standard, right? What an interesting time to be alive. They got that movie coming out with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's going to be playing Teddy Roosevelt. Martin Scorsese movie. Oh, like we need that movie right now. With Teddy Roosevelt, there's a lot of interesting things about his life that could be very relevant to today, and it makes sense why Leo would want to play him. Oh, a Scorsese movie? Oh, it's like, it couldn't be better, But of all the moments in history, that I like to look back on and think about, the history of this moment right now is definitely the most interesting to me. Because it is history that we are living in right now, and it's unknowable history that every single day, a new page is turned. And yesterday was a day for those pages. While it might not, the consequences of what's going on in Ukraine right now might be, in terms of human, cost, this is probably the heaviest thing going on right now to our perceptions, let alone forget all the atrocities that are just already happening that we don't pay attention to. But in the world of TV, and all this stuff, we have these iconic moments that happen in history, iconic things that happen on live TV. We just saw maybe the most iconic one ever. At least, what if that's the thing. I don't know, that's when I see Chris Rock's reaction, that's what I think was going through his mind. Just wow, just shock. And that's how I think he's able to keep smiling and keep it up, because he as a comedian understands the absurdity of life. You have to be able to get into that scene, I think. But that's just my 2 cents on it all, and I hope my 2 cents made you a few cents richer. But anyways, I don't know what that was. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you all have a good night. I hope you all have a good afternoon. Next time on The Truman Show, we will see if Cardi B will successfully hit George W. Bush over the head with a polo stick. Thank you and good night.